All right, let's talk about fair polling. So when we go out and we poll people to take a survey or whatever, we got a couple terminology things we want to talk about here. If we talk about a population, we're talking about all the people that we possibly could talk to, all possibilities. Now, you know you can't possibly talk to everybody, so we talk about the sample, which is a subset. These are the people you actually talk to. All right, so that's the difference between a population and a sample. The population is all the people you could talk to. The sample is those you actually do talk to. All right, now, sometimes polls are biased. Bias, it can be in a lot of different ways. You want to make sure that you have a good representation of people that you're talking to. If you just talk to people on your block, right, that's bias. So we will look at some different examples and talk whether or not we think those are biased. So, and again, this is Becky's opinion here. So is it fair or bias, and validate your choice? So the school newspaper is gathering opinions about average time spent on homework. A reporter sets up a table in the cafeteria and asks everyone who walks by how much time he or she spends on completing homework. I call this bias. Because, I used to teach high school, so if this is one reporter doing this question, she or he is not going to be at every lunch. So you're only talking about people who are at your lunch, and okay, here's the cafeteria, and here's your table if people walk by you here, you're going to ask them a question. But what if people don't walk there, right? There's tables all over. What if these people, put their stuff here and then walk out the back door? So it's biased because it's convenient. This is what we would call a convenience sample, because you're only talking to the people who come near you. A student is weighing the pros and cons of creating additional playgrounds in the city. So she visits a playground near her home to gather opinions. Biased. She visits a playground near her home. That's convenient. If you want to talk about additional playgrounds in the city, you should be going out and talking to all kinds of people, not just those at a playground near you. Of course, if people are at a playground, they're going to think more playgrounds should be built. But you got to talk to everybody. You want a wide variety of people, not just people who are at the playground near your house. That's a convenient sample. Vino Family Espresso Bar is collecting feedback on their establishment. Therefore, they decided to call everyone in the phone book whose last name starts with V. Biased. Okay, let's think about this. Nothing against the letter V. It's a very fabulous letter. But how many names really start with V? So they're talking to a very small sample, and it's only... What about the other 25 letters in the alphabet? Give a little love, right? It would be better to talk, maybe they would call 10 people from each letter of the alphabet. That would be better, right? But just V's, that's bias. And the last one. An investigator is working on grant proposal to increase funding to food pantries. He spends a day at each of the grocery stores in the city talking with shoppers about food costs. Look at this. A day at each grocery store in the city. So he's not just going to one. He's going to all of them and spending time talking to all the people there so he can get ideas on everything. I would say this is the fairest of them all, because this has a good representation of people. Representation. That's what you want. You want to talk to as many different types of people from different areas as you can when you're doing a survey.